So my hair's a little bit messy, sorry about that. We're going to look at money vocabulary once again. We've been doing a lot of work on money vocabulary, and we looked at a lot of different words for describing trends, describing graphs, something that's very useful in the IELTS exam. If you're doing the IELTS writing, you'll definitely need this vocabulary because they always ask you to describe some kind of graph or data set, maybe a map even. But this kind of vocabulary is very useful if you're taking the IELTS. Okay, so we did this last time. So we're going to move on to a topic very quickly. The difference between the number of and a number of, and the difference between an amount of and the amount of. Somebody asked me to do this yesterday, but I was already planning on doing it anyway. And of course, it is something I have covered before, but you know, there's a lot of different things out there that you need to learn when you're learning a new language, and this is just one of them. So just like you learn that much is for uncountable and many is for countable, and you maybe learn that few is for countable and little is for uncountable. Although I have to be honest and say I have never heard people using fewer and less correctly. Most people in England use less for anything, but it's not correct. You should use less for uncountable and fewer for countable. But listen to native speakers and you will usually hear them make mistakes with this. Certainly you will hear me make mistakes with this, and it's because I grew up not hearing anybody using it correctly. And when you grow up not hearing anybody using this grammar correctly, you don't use it correctly. In fact, I even grew up not pronouncing th correctly. I grew up giving it a th, like everybody does in this area. Everybody says thanks. Yeah, nobody says thanks, but everybody says thanks with an F. And when you grow up with that kind of influence, of course, it rubs off on you. In fact, it seems to you that that is the correct way of doing things. So a number of and the number of and the amount of, I've got to say exactly the same as fewer and less. Not many people use this correctly. Yeah. The number of times, not the amount of times, the number of times I hear mistakes with this by everybody, loads of YouTubers, for example, loads of just ordinary English people, very few people use the number of and the amount of correctly. But it really is the case that amount is for uncountable, and it makes sense to me. You know, amounts are usually uncountable. So we say the amount of money, the amount of time, the amount of work, but we say the number of times. Yeah, because times are countable. The number of people, not the amount of people. The number of cars, not the amount of cars. But you will hear natives making mistakes with this all the time. And so, of course, I do want to admit that everybody, in all languages, all natives make mistakes all the time. And they just don't recognize them as mistakes. And it happens in Russian, it happens in English. I'm sure it happens with all European languages, Japanese, Chinese. Everybody makes mistakes in their own language. So the number of is for countable. The amount of is for uncountable. And one more very important thing. The number of is a precise number. So we say the number of people is, not the number of people are, because it's one number. The number of people, maybe it's 15, yeah? The number of people in this room is 15, yeah? Something like that. Or the number of people in, oh, it is actually, the number of people in this room right now is 15, yeah? So we say the number is, because it's one number. But if you want to say there are a number of people in this room, then you need to use are. A number of is plural, and it's because a number of means a lot of. Yeah, and so it makes sense again. There are a lot of people in this room. There are a number of people in this room. A large number of, yeah, large collocates well with number. A large number of something, yeah, a large number of bananas, a large number of blades of grass. It doesn't matter, but you've got to use a large number of a number of means a lot of, the number of means the precise number. So good morning, Sabi, good morning, Humpty, good morning, Valentin. I da u mnie wsio w porядku w Italy. So then we carry on and we see that you've got So yeah, the same logic works with an amount of and the amount of as a number of and the number of. The number of, using the definite article, is a precise number, so the amount of is a precise amount. Whereas an amount of is more like a lot of, a large amount of, yeah. So if you say a large amount of work or something like that, doesn't sound very good actually. A great deal of work, or yeah, I'm using a different vocabulary, but certainly an amount of is more like a lot of, and the amount of is precise. Okay, let's keep going. So we come on to a quick test, and I'm going to put this test up on my website. And if anybody's missed any of the preceding 8 classes, then please, you can find these classes on my website, and you can find all of these tests on my website. So just look at some of these sentences, because these will show you what I've been saying. £5,000 is a large amount of money. A lot of, so A, and money is uncountable, so amount. Outside the station on the other side of the street, a number of rioters gathered. We're not giving a precise number, we just mean a lot of, yeah? Several. And so we use a and not the. We don't know what the precise number is. And we use number and not amount, because rioters is countable, which is why we've got an S on the end of it. Okay, there has been a considerable increase in the number of people who have given up smoking. So here it's a precise number. And so we need the number of, and not, we don't want to say a lot of people, we mean the number of people. The precise number of people who have given up smoking has increased. There has been a slight drop in the number of burglaries in the city centre. So we need the number of, it's countable, just like people are countable. We need number. And this is a precise number, and it's dropping. A number of customers have complained about the shoddy service at the restaurant. So a lot of customers, and we need a number of, because customers is countable. Judging by the large amount of work piling up on his desk, he's clearly got his hands full. So the large amount of work, amount because work is uncountable, and this is a precise amount, yeah, that is piling up on his desk. We're not saying a lot of, we're just saying a precise amount is piling up on his desk. Okay, number 7, a vast amount of non-recyclable waste builds up at the disposal centres. So this is uncountable because waste is uncountable. So we need amount, and we're just saying a lot of waste, yeah, not a precise amount. Okay, so we've got some other adjectives now that are very useful in different collocations. We can talk about a tiny, slight, insignificant, minuscule, minute, small. Okay, so these all mean tiny, and we can talk about a tiny, slight, insignificant, minute, or minuscule increase. Yeah, that's what we're looking at here. We're looking at different. Okay, sorry, forget about that part. Let's look at these parts down here. I'll put that off. We can find these adjectives in all sorts of numerical collocations. Yeah, a steady rise of plus number. A steady rise in the price of something. Yeah, so we say a steady rise of $30, a steady rise of 15%, but a steady rise in the price of something. We say a slight improvement on last year's results. Yeah, we talk about a moderate recovery. We talk about a dramatic rise or increase or gain, and this is just like a steady rise. We say a dramatic rise of $100, or a dramatic rise of 15%, or a dramatic rise in the price of something. We talk about a slight, tiny, minuscule drop, fall, or decrease of plus number or in the price of something. We talk about substantial, robust, or strong growth, or we might talk about slow or weak growth. And we talk about an upward trend or a downward trend. Okay, I hope that they're all clear, and I hope you can see they're all very useful words for any time you're describing something, well, involving figures. Okay, good morning, Sweetness Mitra. So let's have a look at the next exercise. Comment on the following sentences using noun and adjective combinations. The company have splashed 500,000 out on new furniture for the office, but that is a huge amount of money to spend on furniture. So all I want you to do is react to the sentence with some of this vocabulary. So the price of one Bitcoin has skyrocketed from a few dollars in 2009 to $20,000 per Bitcoin in 2017. And we say, what a dramatic rise in the price of Bitcoin. Number 2, last year I got 79% in my chemistry test, while this year I got 81%. That's a slight improvement on last year's results. Walmart's digital sales have been growing by 39% each year for the past 10 years. This is a good example of robust growth. The price of gold plummeted from a peak of $1,850 in 2012 to just $1,200. That's a considerable drop of $650 in the price of gold. And house prices have dipped only 1% this year. This is a minuscule fall in the price of housing. Okay, I think we'll stop there for today because I think that's enough on the money vocabulary, and we've already done 10 minutes. Perhaps we've got time to quickly do these pictures, or perhaps I'll leave that for another class. Well, we'll just quickly do it. What do these pictures remind you of? Which idiom do they remind you of? I hope you all remember some of these idioms, but you should look at this first one. You see the little doggy in the lap of a luxurious lady, and we think living in the lap of luxury. Yeah. Not sure actually about some of these. I'm not sure if I'm able to actually do them. Let's have a look. So the cat who is rolling in money, I think we can say rolling in it. Yeah, this kitty is rolling in it, and it means getting loads and loads and loads of money. I'm assuming that the next one is head over heels in love. I can't actually remember. I did these pictures so long ago. I'm not actually sure exactly what I was thinking of, but yeah, I guess this one is head over heels in love. And this one is fork out money on something. Yeah, if you fork out your money on something, you spend it reluctantly. This one is clearly raking it in. Yeah, if you're raking it in, you're making a lot of money. We did raking it in a few classes ago. This one is he's got money to burn. Money is no object for him. He makes so much money that he's got money to burn. He can splash out on anything that he wants. Okay, this one, I suppose, is the benefits outweigh the drawbacks, I suppose. There couldn't be much else that could be correct here. So I suppose it's the benefits outweigh the drawbacks. And this one, any ideas, guys? I just wrote this so long ago, I actually can't remember my answers. But the name of the book, it's not going to be published, Sabi. The 2 books that I have bothered to publish are here. Whoops. I've bothered to publish this one, which is visual phrasal verbs, and this one, which is grammar in theory and in practice. This one was one that I started writing, and I wrote about 30 pages, and I just had never got round to finishing it. Being honest, vocabulary books are actually quite boring to write. But I figured instead of wasting it, I would just make a few classes on it and make sure that you could all learn the vocabulary. So maybe to keep your purse strings tight. Yeah, I think maybe to have tight purse strings might be the idiom I'm thinking of here. I can't think what else it would be. Yeah, he's obviously not. He's keeping his wallet tightly closed. Wrap up though doesn't have anything to do with money. No, I've got no idea what I was trying to do with this picture. I assume it will be here in the answers somewhere. Maybe not. But anyway, it doesn't matter. All of these exercises will be going up on my website later today. I need to mark one of my students' essays again this morning, so I'll probably make a lesson on that later today, which will be a writing lesson where I look at the essay and talk about the corrections I have made. And I might do another Russian lesson later on today if I get a chance. I would quite like to. So if you are around later today, it'll probably be more likely in the next hour or 2, I'll be making some more classes. So good morning, Sabi and Kulmiava and Simbat from Kazakhstan, and Marcelli from Poland. So thanks, guys. Thanks, everybody, for coming. Please, if you've missed any classes, no problem. Go to my website, skype-lessons.com. For anything that you miss, everything goes up on this website, and that's where all of my lessons are nowadays. That's where all of these new lessons disappear to once I take them off YouTube. They all go to my website. So all you've got to do is go to the website if you're interested in learning English with me for free. And all of the lessons go there and all of the exercises go there. Of course, I do private classes as well, as I think you're all aware, but they're, of course, not free. But still, there's loads of free material on the website. And so if that's what you're coming for, please, what are you doing on YouTube? It's a terrible place. Come to skype-lessons.com for real English. Okay, thanks, everybody, and see you perhaps later today.